Hello, my name is Dave Walker and I am a coach and storyteller, and today I'm wearing my storyteller hat. To be more specific, I'm wearing my published author hat. So at the age of 53, I recently published my first book. It's called Mondays Don't Have to Suck: How Small Changes Can Make a Huge Difference. On the back, I've actually written here in the white, it says, "Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? I have learned a few and you can too." So not only have I written and published my first book in my 50s, I've also shared a lot of other changes that I've undertaken over that book as well. I'm hoping that by sharing that I'm going to inspire others to make change as well. The book, basically, that is what the book is all about. It's about making change. Have you ever heard the expression, the only constant is change? So there's always changes going on, and we're always making all these, these small changes and these small decisions every day. And what I found was that, sometimes you end up somewhere nasty, and sometimes you end up somewhere nice. And it depends on the type of changes that you're making. It depends on your mindset. And all of a sudden, you start developing this momentum, and then you end up in a certain place. In my case, I'm sharing two stories during the book. The first half of my book is how, based on my decisions and changes that I made, I ended up somewhere pretty nasty. It started off kind of in my comfort zone, and my comfort zone ended up turning pretty nasty on me when I got in there. I had built such a comfortable comfort zone that I had trouble getting out of there, a lot of trouble getting out of there. I had become obese. I was a clinically depressed, functioning alcoholic. I had isolated myself from everybody. This was unintentional. Talk about my stories in there as being unintentional. So the change I went through, the self-transformations that I describe in my book, were unintentional. I didn't want to become a obese, socially isolated, functioning alcoholic, but all those changes that I made, that's where I got to. Then one day I was able to start making some changes to get out of there. It took me a while, but next thing you know, I was building the momentum that ended up being in somewhere a lot nicer than where I was before. And that's where I'm trying to remain these days, somewhere nice versus somewhere nasty. I much prefer the nice versus the nasty. So in my book, again, I talk about those two journeys. I share both of the journeys, what I've learned for those. I've got questions for others, because what I've noticed over the last 2 or 3 years as I've been working through my change, I've read a lot of books. I've met with a lot of other people. I've observed other people as well, what they're going through. And there's a lot of people who are, going through the same similar journey as myself. There's a lot of people who are living in their comfort zones. There's a lot of people who are in nasty zones right now. So I'm hoping by sharing my story that I can inspire others to make change as well. Now, unfortunately, here's the bad news, is it doesn't happen overnight. All these small little changes start building momentum. They start becoming habits, and they're either nasty or they're nice, and that's where you end up going. So again, I'm encouraging you to, as you go through the book, to look at some of the ones that I've explored, and maybe you want to follow those, or if you want to look at some of the nasty ones I did and you want to use those instead, go for it. But you might want to do the opposite, so you end up in the opposite area. Now, what's unique about my book? I think my book is, as I'm sharing, I think to make it real so that I can help people, is I've shared a lot. So I basically shared the good, the bad, and the ugly, as I like to call it. And I'm a guy. So as I mentioned in my book, guys, we're not brought up to share our emotions or our feelings and our thoughts. And that's one of the things that actually, I think caused me, that led to me being in this nasty spot. It was not being able to connect with myself. So now one of the things that I have been doing during my journey, and as I've mentioned in there as well, it's getting to understand and know myself better. That way I've got a better sense of where it is that I actually want to end up later on, and knowing myself better as well lets me kind of catch myself when I'm going down the wrong path. So knowing myself better and going out there and connecting with a lot of other people as well. So there's a whole lot of people who I met with as I was writing my book. Again, I'm sharing a lot of the things, everything that I share in my book. There's nothing new that I came up with. This was all just stuff that I read about or other people talked to me about that I just took and tried out. What worked, I kept, and what didn't, well, I've left that by the side. So I'm hoping that going through the book that you're going to come up with some things that work for you as well, because we're all unique. So we've all got something that fits us. So it's trying to figure out what our fit is. Although we do have a lot of things in common as well. So in the second last chapter to the book, in chapter 27, I've also tried to come up with, I love top 10 lists, kind of like another David Letterman. So I've got my Dave's top 10 list of, what helped me make that change. And those are based on things that other people have used as well. So I'm hoping that, you can leverage that top 10 list, not just to make changes in your life, but also to maintain them. I call them my top 10 change enablers / maintainers. And if I've forgotten any, please let me know, because I would, if I have to update the book later on, I will either add a couple more to the top 10 list, or I will move some of those in the order. If there's anything on there that you have used as well to make positive change in your life, or maintaining it, I'd love to hear what those are. I'd love to hear what you think of the book. So again, it's Mondays don't have to suck. For those of you who say you already like Mondays, it's other days that cause you grief. Well, guess what? My hypothesis is that this works for any day of the week, any and all days of the week. I'm testing out my hypothesis by sharing it with you. If you don't believe that's the case, let me know. Again, my book is available on Amazon. So enjoy the read, enjoy your journey. Take care, and I'd love to hear about anything that you've done that I can share with others and leverage myself to continue to make positive change in my life and inspire others as well. Thank you.